Well, 60 days is up, and I'm still not sure what I'm doing or what's going on. I am feeling very sick today. Not, not all dirty water is created equal, and I'm not sure if that's what this is. I know in Hong Kong, I had a few days just from breathing the air and stuff, where my throat was like a little off. Um, so I don't know if that's what this is, but I slept all day today, and yeah, I'm just feeling wiped. I drank the last of the Buckleys that I had. I went and got some local whatever from the pharmacy, but there's no like medicine in this, just lemon juice and IV or something like that. Like something that doesn't seem to be very effective, but we'll see. Uh, so yeah, today's been a bit of a write-off. I'm 9 o'clock. I'm gonna try and go to the gym just to see if I can do something. Uh, I've been binging TV and sleeping and just laying in bed all day. So yeah, not very productive. Um, so yeah, feeling a little bit of dread, I guess, just from having no idea what I'm doing, and then obviously also getting sick and not being able to function. So, not the best time for it, but yeah. Uh, yeah, feeling very tired and wiped today. Mm, I had a lot of conversations about faith lately. Faith has come into my life pretty frequently. Um, and religion and things like that, just via faith. And yeah, I don't know. I just I have a really hard time with religion. Um, I do believe in all of that stuff to a certain degree. Um, but the organized part of it is uh, just really hard to get behind. Um, and sort of determining what is and what works and what doesn't. I think that the reason that there's so much that's similar um, is because it is all a form of the same thing, and a lot of it does seem to be about connecting and belief and the powers in that, and the powers of like external communication and actualizing or formalizing your wants and needs and thoughts and making these things real. I think that anytime you make an abstract into something tangible, it's very powerful because that's like the first step to making something actionable. So yeah, uh, I don't know. it's I'm exhausted from doing nothing. So, story of my life. Story of my life. But I do think even organized religion and this like uh, scriptured faith is extremely powerful and gives direction and gives purpose and gives meaning and gives a lot of things that have a ton of value. Um, so I do think anybody that was living without this stuff is sort of living a lesser life. I mean, the alternative is more of the direction that I lived previously, where you just sort of live and you work and you only focus on tangibles and you only focus on what is functional and actual and you sort of live devoid of anything ethereal or like even moving away from things like emotion and um, anything really subconscious. Like you just do, and that's very powerful too. But I found that to be hard to maintain because at some point or another you're sort of snuffing out or limiting what you're letting in, and so things like um, just like how you're feeling and being sad and like pushing through that constantly and never addressing any of that um, does seem to build up over time, and you are for better or worse cutting out a chunk of your life again, like not being able to connect with family and friends and things like that. What was my experience and my sort of downfall in that regard, in that yeah, I just couldn't manage both, and I had a really hard time actually because of that. And once I started to try and merge the two or let the other one in, it's like it really made everything else in my life very hard to participate in because it was so devoid of any of that, and I couldn't reattach feeling and meaning to any of it, and that is my failing for sure, because those things exist in every part of everything if you're willing to let it. So yeah, I just for me, it was like a road that I couldn't go back down for some reason. I had a really hard time seeing any sort of positive in it, like a really really hard time. Uh, yeah, and yet here I am on the other side of the world, alone still, doing the same things, like just living alone, doing nothing, accomplishing not, like it's like even though I was like in a job I hated, accomplishing nothing by my metrics and like doing things that were meaningless and only focused on money and blah blah blah. It's like it's not that much different than what I'm doing now. So it's like this massive overhaul, this massive alleged like self-sacrifice or whatever you want to call it, and like purging my life of all these material negatives has like yielded nothing, and I'm still sort of beholden to um, beholden to material things and to this like life that I've built anyways, like, and I'm still sort of floating and trying to exist in a system that I said I wanted nothing to do with, and yet I'm living off of the scraps of that because I have no other option. So at the end of the day, I just like circled all the way back to the same problem in a different package. Yeah. And I'm sure I've added more problems on top of that. Anyways, I don't know. I was going to go to the gym, but talking now, I feel like that's not in the cards. We'll see. Anyways, I don't know where this is going or whether this is going to go up, but I will try again tomorrow. All right. Bye.